Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. I hope we meet you well. I don't know why I always report it, but if there's a drizzle in Lagos, southwest of the country where we're broadcasting from, I'm more likely than not to let you know. So indeed, it has happened. But then, no sweat, it is supposed to be the season, isn't it? Never mind that meteorology seems to have changed in these modern times. When you expect rain, you don't get rain. When you don't expect rain, you do get rain. Anyway, let me not digress too much because we're continuing a conversation we started some time ago. Remember the whole Igede Idoma debacle, should we call it? The Idomas had said that as a group, they feel marginalized by the TIF people. And you probably know, if you don't, well, there are three major groups in Benue. There's the TIF, there's the Idoma, and there's the Igede. Now, the TIF, the Idoma and the Igedes, they're thought to be one, sort of one soul, one general body, apart from dialectical differences. But we have got word from the Igede people that, hang on, we need to add something to this conversation. As the Idoma are saying that they are dominated by the TIF, well, we'll have you know that we, the Igede, feel dominated, marginalized by the Idoma people as well. Wow. And they say that's not it. That's just not it. If we're going to be sincere about this matter, or not sincere, if we're going to be factual about it, there's the TIF, there's the Idoma, there's the Igede, and also something called, people call the Etulo. So there's all of that. Well, I said, look, we'll try and sort this out. We started this conversation, so it's only fair that we hear all sides. We thought it was just two sides, but now we get word from the Igedes that we want to say something as well. Chief Ochi Emmanuel is my guest in studio. Good morning to you, sir. Chief Emmanuel is chair of the Middle Belt Traditional Council Southwest.
Yes, thank you.
You're very welcome. We also, all other things being equal, should be able to be joined by Dr. Isaac Akwuma Egboja. That's from our Abuja studio. I wonder if we can see him yet, to say good morning to him. Yeah, good morning to you, Dr. Egboja. Thank you for making time for us. Indeed.
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me.
Sure. And also, Dr. Egboja is a member advisory council and founding member Igede in 2023 movement. Is also the deputy national coordinator, Benue Rebirth Movement. Is that part of it correct? Deputy national coordinator, Benue Rebirth Movement?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you very much. And then, we're a political leader in Zone C of Benue State. We did tell you in our earlier programs that it's sort of organized into zones A, B, and C. And of course, the biggest is the TIF in Zone A, and then the Idoma and Igedes make up the rest. And we also will be hearing from Alhaji Usman Abubakar, political leader, Benue Zone C. Let me start in the studio with the chief, Chief Ochi Emmanuel, chair of Middle Belt Traditional Council. It is thought that the Igedes and the Idomas are really one, apart from dialectical differences. The way it was explained to me, which of course you are an authority, you're here now, the way it was explained to me is that, look, between the Ijebu man, the Abeokuta man, the Egba man, and so take someone else, Ijesha man, they're all Yoruba people. Apart from a dialectical difference, you can't really say that the language is totally different. So there will be dialectical differences. Let me put that point to you so that we can understand it properly. First of all, your comment on the Idoma and the Igedes being one stock.
Thank you very much for your question. To make it very clear, we are brothers, but with distinct identity. Igede is Igede, Idoma is Idoma, and we are brothers. There's no doubt about that. But to subsume Igede as Idoma will be absolutely wrong.
let me check that out, if you don't mind, sir, with Dr. Egboja in Abuja studio, member, advisory council, and founding member of the Igede in 2023 movement. How would you respond to the inquiry as to are the Igedes and the Idomas not really one, apart from dialectical language differences?
Okay, the Idomas and the Igedes are not different just because of dialect. We are distinctly different tribes and distinctly different languages. If you understand Igede, it doesn't make you understand Idoma. And if you understand Idoma, it doesn't make you understand Igede. There are two different tribes and with two different languages. That is not a dialectical difference.
Okay then. Alhaji Usman Abubakar, are you still with us? Oh, okay, he is not here yet, but I've heard it in studio here from Chief Ode Emmanuel, and I've also heard it from you. Again, not being from the area doesn't mean that one can't sort of research it and find out some of the things that have been going on. The second Ochidoma Ajene Okpabi was Igede, and he ruled for 35 years as a traditional ruler. Apart from that, the deputy to Governor Akwuma was also an Igede man. So some people are saying that the case of marginalization or anything like that is difficult for them to understand. But maybe you want to start first and help us understand how somebody who ruled for 35 years, how can you say that they are being marginalized, that kind of a thing?
Yes, thank you so much. Like I have said, we are one, we are brothers, but with distinct identity. In the old native authority, the late Abraham Ajene Okpabi was the next in command to the then Ochi Idoma. So when the then Ochi Idoma passed on, he now have to succeed him. Like I said, we Idoma and Igede are one, but with distinct identity. Idoma is a tribe, Igede is a tribe with equal rights.
Okay, even if the numbers are admittedly different.
Well,
when it comes to population.
If you go into real enumeration, the numbers might not be different.
Okay.
Yes, might not be different.
Okay.
And in this part of the world, the tendency is for one brother to outsmart the other. So that instinct is always there.
And you think that's what's happening here?
That is what's
Are
happening.
you saying that the Idomas are trying to outsmart the Igedes? Is that the statement that you're making?
That is it. Like you made reference to Ajene, Ogre Ajene, being deputy to Akwuma for 8 years.
That's right.
Then after that, Usman came. Lawani, Chief Lawani from Idoma extraction was deputy to Usman for 8 years. Now Otom came. Engineer Bonu is now the deputy, the current deputy, serving 8 years. That is how many years? Now, this time, if it has to shift from zone A and B to C, it should be the turn of Igede to be the governor.
Okay.
It can be Idoma. There's no problem about that. But if it's shifting from zone A, B to C, because the zone A and B have been the ruling tribe since the creation of Benue State. Now, if we are crying that other zones have been marginalized, it is not only Idoma that is marginalized. Igede is equally marginalized.
Okay, let me take
talk of it.
Yeah.
Since the advent of democracy in Nigeria, 1999, Idoma person had been the Senate, occupying the Senate position till date. There are capable people in Igede, from Igede extraction, that can occupy that position. But they have never allowed it once. So if they are crying that, we have never been governor for once since the creation and the coming of politics. Now, an Igede man have never occupied that position of senatorial seat. Okay. If you are saying those that comes to equity more comes with clean hands.
Okay.
Why can't Idoma man say, look, I have been on this seat since the advent of democracy in Nigeria, since 1999.
So look, fairness demands.
You are bring a qualified son. Let him come and have a taste of this position.
Okay.
Have they said it?
Dr. Egboja, is that also your position? Because if as we have heard since we started the first conversation where we had AVM Monday Morgan here, I believe he is like the leader of the national coordinator of the Benue Rebirth Movement, if I'm correct, and you are the deputy national coordinator. Is what you are saying that even if fairness is addressed and power sharing sort of moves to Zone C, it's not enough for it to just move to Zone C and say that it's in Zone C now, so Idoma have it and Zone C has been appeased. You're saying that it should be Igede in Zone C. Is that an accurate understanding of what I've just heard?
No, let me explain it this way.
Sure.
I personally do not want and do not like to make this case a tribal issue in Benue. Rather, I will look at it politically. We have 3 senatorial districts in Benue. We have, and they are called zones. Zone A, which is the Northern Senatorial District. Zone B, which is the Central Senatorial District. And Zone C, which is the Southern Senatorial District. The zones A and B have been producing governors since the creation of Benue State in 1976. The South Senatorial District has never produced a governor. And what we are saying in Benue Rebirth Movement is that since the state is owned and shared by the 3 senatorial districts, power should rotate from A to B and B to C and C back to A. That is not what has been happening in Benue. Power has been rotating between A and B senatorial districts and C, which is occupied by the Idomas and the Igedes, and the Ofias and other small tribes in Benue South have never had a taste of the governor of Benue State. Similarly, we are saying that when power and if power rotates to Zone C, that's the Benue South Senatorial District, there are 3 groups, 3 blocks there. The Block A, which is Zone A, is what we call the Old Otupo, which comprises of 4 local governments. Zone B, which comprises of 3 local governments, is called Odopoku. And Zone C, which comprises of 2 local governments, is called Odoju. Those were the colonial districts, Otupo, Opoko, and Oju during the colonial period. They have now developed into local governments. That was the beginning also of the marginalization process that is going on today. While Zone A, Odochupo, was further divided into 4 local governments, Zone B, which was Okpoko, divided into 3 local governments. Zone C, Odoju, was divided only into 2 local governments. The 3rd local government, which existed during the Abacha period, was later taken over and dissolved. So Odoju now has only 2 local governments, and that's what the beginning of the problem that we have right now.
Let me stay with you for a little bit more. I beg your pardon for interrupting you. Let me stay with you for a little bit more. There is the question of numbers, of course, and it's a political system, it's democracy. You are saying that people should think like that. Then even if they are right, it might not be equitable, right? Because you are saying that the Igedes, also need a shot. But people just have to be, quote unquote, nice about it and concede to them, because they don't have the numbers with which to get it themselves. So it has to be by negotiation, is what we've heard from Zone A, especially. Let me put it like that. That's what we've heard from Zone A, that there has to be a political solution, because the Igedes, simply because of numbers, not anything else, simply cannot get it, and so there has to be negotiation. Would you agree with that?
Perfectly. Perfectly. Politics is a game of numbers. The Benue zones A and B have enough number for them to elect a governor without reference to Zone C. That is possible. But we are appealing, we are trying to convince, we are persuading our brothers in Zones A and B of Benue State to concede, I'm using that word purposefully, to concede power, to concede the governorship to Zone C. Okay. Because if it is by any other means, if it is by population, we don't have the comparative population to argue at the same level. Okay. We are only persuading and convincing them to concede power. In the same manner, within the Benue South Senatorial District, since we have 3 zones, the zones A and B have been holding to the Senate seat since the creation of the state. Zone C, which is occupied by the Igedes, have never had a taste of the Senate seat, and we are also persuading, convincing, and asking that the zones A and B concede the Benue senatorial seat to Zone C, which is the Igede.
Okay, Doctor.
Of the senatorial
okay, Doctor. And swinging to Chief Ode Emmanuel, Ochi Ode Emmanuel. So the issue is not so much that Zone A, the Tives, Zone B, and then Zone Zone C. You're now saying that in that Zone C, that does not have the numbers and consequently the the numerical strength to do anything in a democratic way, there must be a concession. Now, we've heard it that this is going to have to be a political settlement. And I think when the governor, who also is interested in ensuring peace and equity and all of that, he had said that, he had counseled that you need to talk with the political parties. Let all the political parties zone these demands and desires to Zone C, then possibilities can occur. But without that, it's like going around in circles. Evaluate that advice by the governor, that it's really up to the people in Zone C, especially the Igedes, even the Idoma itself, to persuade the political parties to do the needful, whether APC, whether PDP, both of you, zone it to Zone C. Only then can we get any benefit out of this whole conversation. What do you say to that?
That is where the real issues are. And politics is not about force. Politics is about negotiation, agreement of interest here and there, where it pleases, so that every part of the coin we feel
a sense of inclusiveness.
A sense of inclusiveness. That is what we are saying. Yes, when the Benue rebel movement came up, people came out to really assess what they were saying. And it is really the issues that are on ground. Yes, if the Zone C go to B, A and B, and negotiate with them, this is what we are saying. We have always been supporting you since the creation of the state.
Okay.
So this time, please support us.
Have you had those meetings? Those kind of
Yes,
conversations have been made?
I believe they are like Dr. Egboja is one of them. At least you cannot have a meeting outside the room and you said you are having you call everybody to a round table. The Zone A, the Zone B, power have been rotating in between Zone A and Zone B. And we are now saying that let it equally include Zone C. The Benue rebel, that is precisely what they should do. Well, I'm not a politician, but
yes.
I have interest on what happens around me. Right. So if they go to round table, and it has happened in Nigeria before, during the military era, you have Olufalaye and Olusegun Obasanjo. That was one party brought a Yoruba to Yoruba, and they voted for. It can happen like that. It can happen like that this time around, so that it can keep the issues at one page.
Since these kind of conversations have indeed been started, but it can only be because you haven't necessarily got any joy yet that we are having these kind of public conversations about it. Initially, we didn't hear about it. It was being sorted out, so to speak, within the Benue community. Is it that well, let me put suspicions in your mind. Is it that they don't seem to be understanding it from the point of view that you explained? Because you are basing everything on equity.
Yes.
Equity. And what the Yorubas might call omoluabi. Because I know you speak Yoruba, yes, you were just telling me.
Yes.
So, but power, giving up power, I don't know. Do you blame the thief people? Because what you're saying is that, look, we're all hungry for power. The word hungry in quotes.
Yes.
You are saying I should, maintain this fast and pass it on to you. That's what you seem to be saying.
Yes. You see, equity demands that even God himself
could
have created man in his own image. But he called the other two gods. God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. He said, come, let us make man in our own image.
Okay.
But he could have done it. But so we are saying that the thief brothers, well, by numbers, they might be higher. So why can't they say, look, we have been ruling this state since creation.
Okay.
Come.
Okay.
Come and lend your help
to
the development of the state.
I hear you. Let me take a caller. Somebody has called in. Yes. That's the nature of our program, Chief.
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, Uncle Yori, I greet your guests.
Okay.
I've been following your previous editions on this issue.
Yes.
What is happening in Benue is akin to what is happening in the Southeast at the national level. These are saying they have never been given the presidential slot, so they should be given, but they don't have the numbers. And we have not seen them working, harmoniously with the other major groups with a view to saying, okay, we've been working with you, you also consider us now, even though we don't have the number. That seems to be what I'm also seeing in Benue. Politics is a game of numbers. If you don't have the numbers, you can't, there's a whole lot of difference between a right and a privilege. What I'm saying in Benue is like a right, which actually should have been a privilege. If negotiations, which is imperative in this matter, is what the people are resorting to, it shouldn't have even come to the public domain. People like us wouldn't even know about it. But appearing on television, you tells me that negotiations have not been explored and that that area seems not possible. Let them go home and change the strategy. I don't know how much cooperation the other zones, Zone A and B, have been receiving from Zone C.
Okay.
If they have been cooperating with them, they do not need public sympathy before that is agreed to.
Okay.
I would recommend that they should go back home and settle the matter amicably.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. George, for calling in. Dr. Egboja, how would you respond to that line of thinking?
In affirmative, that has been our approach. We in Benue Rebel Movement believe in persuasion, in convincing, and in concession. That is why we are appealing to our brothers who occupy Benue Zones A and B to concede the gubernatorial seat to Zone C. In the same manner, we in Zone C, that is the Benue South Central District, are divided into 3 zones. Zone A, which is occupied by the Idomas, Zone B, which is occupied by the Idomas, and the Zone C, which is occupied by the Igedes, have not shared power equitably. Igede people have never been senator. Igede people have never been minister. Igede people have never been governor. The cry that we have in Benue by the Benue South Senatorial District that the gubernatorial seat should rotate to Benue South Senatorial District is the same cry that the Zone C of the Benue South Senatorial District is making, asking the Zones A and B of the Senatorial District to rotate the senatorial seat to Zone C, to the Igedes. And this is one of the reasons why I said earlier that this is a political problem and it has to be solved politically through negotiation, through concession, through persuasion and not force.
Okay, Dr. Egboja, what do you make of the point by that caller, Mr. George in Lagos here, that the fact that we're even talking about this on national television would suggest to him that there hasn't been much success in negotiations that you say, and the chief in studio say, have been ongoing. And he doesn't, it is his sort of belief, that is the caller, that perhaps speaking on a national platform, which is what television is, might actually be injurious to the cause that really should be seen as a family matter within Benue. Do you agree with that, position? That is a family matter, and the more matters are discussed within family compounds, perhaps you get a better chance at resolution. Your thoughts on that line of thinking?
Yes, I agree it is a family matter. The issue of the rotation of the governor's seat to Benue South Senatorial District is a Benue matter. It's solely a Benue matter. No outside force, no outside person can do it for Benue. In the same manner, the cry by the Zone C of the Benue South Senatorial District to rotate the senatorial seat to Zone C of the Senatorial District is also a Zone C Benue South matter.
Okay.
And no other person outside can do it for us.
Okay.
The reason why it is coming into the public domain now is because despite all the talking, despite all the appeals and so on and discussions, they don't seem to be a solution. Sometimes, when internal matters are not resolved among 2 parties, a 3rd party can appeal.
Okay, let me bring in Friday. Friday has called in from Jos. Good morning, Friday.
Good morning. Good morning, Fiori.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I want to contribute to what the coordinator, Benue Rebel, is saying. Good morning, Okiori.
Go ahead, please. We can hear you.
I want to contribute to my elder statesman in saying I am one of the minority tribes in Benue, below precisely. The level of marginalization in Benue is in alarming rate. It is unbearable. What our brothers, the thief, are doing is really endemic. We cannot bear it. Let them consider we are human beings created by the same God. Why are they treating us like that?
Are you Igede? Are you Igede yourself, Friday?
No, I am a Tilo by tribe.
Okay.
Tilo by tribe. I am from an ethnic group, a Tilo by tribe. And what the people are doing is bad. The way they are treating other minority tribes in Benue is really bad.
All right.
Nigeria need to hear this. We want Nigerians to hear this.
Okay, thank you very much for calling in Friday. Etulo, the Etulo people, in fact, the chief was telling me about the Etulo as also being part of this conversation. That is Chief Ochi Emmanuel. We're in Benue State, actually, and we've been there. This is the third in a series. We thought it was merely, let's talk about the Tiv and the Idoma, Zone C. Zone C in Benue State, it contains the Idoma, the Idoma and the Igede, and we thought that really when we've heard about it from the Idoma side of the conversation, we have the full story. But the Igedes have said not so. In fact, we ourselves feel marginalized by the Idoma. That's Chief just saying yes, in case you can hear into my microphone. Say, yep. That's the way it is. The Idoma are speaking for that. So let's talk a bit about the relationship, because when we did the first outing on this, we felt that you could look at Zone C and think of them as a almost, not quite, but almost homogeneous unit. Let's talk about the relationships now, and that you will be in a very good position to know because you are chair of the Middle Belt Traditional Council Southwest. Yes. How would you characterize the relationship between, because you've said earlier that our brothers, you call them brothers, yes. But these things that are going on, I don't know how brotherly you also think they are, that they are saying that, look, it is what it is, and you are saying that the Dr. Egboja are saying that we've appealed, we've negotiated, and there hasn't been any joy. Characterized for me, if you will, sir, your perception of the relationship between the Idoma and the Igedes.
Yes, thank you very much. You see, we are living in the same geographical location. That is Igede and Idoma. The historical origin of Igede is from Ora Sabongida in Edo. Then when you talk about the Idomas, they migrate from Kwararafa Kingdom. Then, you know...
That is the Idomas?
Yes,
they came from Kwararafa Kingdom?
Yes.
The Igedes, uncle?
From Sabongida Ora.
Okay.
Our origin, our migration is traced to Edo, Sabongida Ora. Then we found ourselves.
Don't forget the man added Etulo, the guy who called in said, I'm Etulo
no,
too.
Etulo is, I wouldn't be able to say of that. Mm-hmm. But they are together with Tiv in the same geographical area. Just as we, the Igede and Idoma, and there are some other small tribes again, are located in the same Zone C, which is a geographical location. Now, we are saying that we are Igedes and they are Idoma. We accept that we live together as brothers.
Okay.
We don't war. So, once it comes to politics, and we can now say, okay, my brother, this is an errand. You, Idoma, run this errand for us. Maybe 1 year. Then when the second errand comes, I have gone for this one. Let an Igede man go. You can see the same thing is happening, that you saw the Tulu man called in and said the marginalization in their own area is too much. They can't bear it.
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
The issue of marginalization
let me hear from someone we haven't
not
heard.
just one tribe.
We haven't heard from Alhaji Usman Abubakar on this program, and that's not anybody's fault. But he's here now. He's described as a political leader, Benue Zone C. Alhaji Usman Abubakar. Good morning to you, sir. Alhaji. Alhaji Abubakar. The audio is still an issue. If we can see you, but can you hear us? Alhaji Usman Abubakar. Okay, he's waiting, and clearly he can't hear. Or can he? Okay, I think they're still trying to help Alhaji Usman Abubakar out. So in the meantime, let me also ask Dr. Egboja again. I'll put the same question to you. Your understanding of the relationships between the Igedes and the Idomas.
I'm not hearing them.
Well, that sounds a bit like Alhaji Usman Abubakar, because we just heard you now. Can you hear us now, Alhaji? Alhaji Abubakar, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, that's good to hear.
I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know how long you've been on the program, but you're very welcome. We've heard a lot. We've heard a lot about the dynamics, trying to understand the political dynamics among the three people. I don't know. What do you want to add to that conversation? Because people in Zone C, especially the Idomas, are complaining of marginalization, and then the Igedes pop up and say, we also are marginalized by the Idoma people. So, Alhaji.
Okay. Yes, are you hearing me now?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. My name's Alhaji Usman Abubakar Shanu, popularly known as Young Alhaji.
Okay.
Yes. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Kano.
Okay, good. Okay. When you talk of marginalization of the Idoma versus the thief, that is a wrong impression.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. So you just said it's a wrong impression.
It is a wrong impression for Idoma people to say the thief has marginalized us. It is a wrong impression.
I hear you there. One moment, sir. Let me also check. Let me check something else with you. Let me check something else with you. I've heard the first wrong impression. Now, the Igedes saying that they're marginalized by the Idomas. What's your assessment of that situation?
Yes. Again, there is no such thing like Igede and Idoma. We are all Idomas with various dialectic variations. Dialectic variation does not mean I am Alala. There are Egede, we have Agatus, we have the Akpas, we have the Agalas. We are all Idomas, but with different dialectic variations.
No.
So when you coming to politics,
please continue. Never mind that you just heard Dr. Egbojo interject a no. But please continue. You say that you are all one people now, as far as we are concerned.
When you come to zone C politics,
yeah. Carry on, please.
Yes. Good. Now, when you come to zone C politics, the other speaking Idomas, the 7 local government, has never marginalized the 2 local government of Igede speaking dialect. No. what you are talking in politics is not a matter of ethnic majority. We are talking of majority in support. Have they strived enough? Have they struggled enough? Have they committed themselves enough? Have they organized themselves enough to contest that Senate seat? But this time around, I, young Alhaji, I am ready. A long time ago, I said, I am no longer contesting. I want to support somebody from the Igede freaking ethnic group, the two local government, Ochi and Obi. I am ready to support them. But let them come out in full force. Let them be honest and stop blackmailing. Let them struggle, organize themselves, and they can win the next coming election.
You yourself, young Alhaji, you yourself, what are you? Are you Igede? Are you Idoma? Are you Tiv?
I am a Idoma from Ogbadibo local government, the Alalas. I am the Alalas. I'm one of the Alalas.
Okay.
Yes.
And you say you want to come out and support the agitation of the Igede for political power.
Yes.
That much you want to do.
I'm ready to support them.
Okay, but you disagree that the Idoma are marginalizing the Igede that you want to support.
I disagree with that totally. I disagree with that.
Okay, excellent. All right. Chief, did you want to let me first of all, it was Dr. Egboja who first of all interjected no. Go ahead, Dr. Egboja. Let me hear your objection to young Alhaji's position. Dr. Egboja. Okay, you go ahead.
Yes, I want to congratulate the courage of young Alhaji. He is saying that the team are not marginalizing the Zone C. Now, and he is saying that maybe the Idomas are not organized and come with full force. I don't think that is the case. Because the issue is not full force. The issue is...
When he talks about full force,
yes.
He means, look, let them be organized among themselves, unified among themselves.
They are well organized.
And unified.
Yes, they are well organized. He too has come out most time to contest for whatever position. But because this is a game of number, he could not get what he wanted. But I'm happy that he said he's in support of
Igede,
an Igede person.
Testing power
in terms of senatorial slot. I congratulate him for that. But what are the other people saying?
Okay.
Because he alone cannot do it.
Exactly.
If he says, oh, Igede man, come out, identify. Dr. Egboja have contested for that position before, but was denied.
Okay, let me go to Dr. Egboja because Dr. Egboja, you were speaking, but there was a delay. So it was making our conversation a bit difficult. So appreciating and understanding that delay now, I'm putting this question. Go ahead and explain your, the way you interjected no when Dan Mekano, young Alhaji, was speaking. What did you mean when you said no? Because he said there is no marginalization going on.
I agree. The word marginalization is wrongly used here. Because the Benue zones A and B, which is occupied by the thieves, have the number to win election by themselves. And politics is a game of numbers. In the same manner, in Benue South Senatorial District, the zones A and B, which is occupied by the Idomas largely, have the number to win the senatorial seat without the contribution of the Igedes who occupy the zone C of the senatorial district. I don't like the word marginalization here. This is a political problem. And I believe in persuasion and negotiation and not marginalization accusation. Now, what I said no to young Alhaji was when he said that everybody in Benue South Senatorial District is Idoma. That is not correct. The word Idoma originally did not imply any language or any tribe. It was the name of the native authority that was coined by the political, by the colonial masters in 1923. 100 years ago, the word Idoma did not exist. 100 years ago, the word Idoma did not exist. We were originally the Akwatos, the Igedes, the Ufias, and the Akwuma.
That is true.
Tribes that occupied Benue South.
Okay, I hear you. Now, Sheson has been waiting. Sheson in Ketu has been waiting for oh so long. First of all, apologies and thank you indeed for waiting to contribute to this whole conversation. Sheson in Ketu, good morning.
Good morning.
Please go ahead now.
Good morning, Evangelist Yori. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, I can hear you. Did you say you are an evangelist?
Oh, Uncle Yori, can you do us a favor? You've been hearing about this Idoma Igede for some time now. Can't we've spoken to, I think, the Commissioner of Information, Benue State. Can't we try to see if we can talk to the governor himself? From the office mouth. At least, let's hear from this man. Because we've been hearing the TV, the Idoma, the Igede, even now. People, they have someone that wants to come out, the Idoma, and they all belong to Zone C. Let's hear what the government, let's hear from the governor himself, please.
Okay.
You do that for us. We are
okay. Indeed, I have heard you. Thank you very much. For the moment, we spoke with a representative of the governor. Yeah, indeed, we did. And he had really explained it, but that is why Sheson is saying that perhaps we need to hear from the governor. You can understand why the governor doesn't want to come out, because he has explained publicly that it's going to be a political negotiation, and he has sort of counseled Zone C that, look, go ahead and speak with the political with the political parties. Let the political parties zone these offices to Zone C, so everybody then doesn't have an option but to choose from Zone C. Then the whole matter of marginalization, which Dr. Egboja doesn't like as a word, will not exist anymore, in that there's an agreement that, look, our candidate, whichever, Senate, governorship, is going to come from Zone C. That seems to be the part, because I don't know if you expect the governor himself to be helpful in that regard, as opposed to putting it back to people like the Benue Rebirth movement. What's your thinking in that area?
Well, I think all along, when the Benue Rebirth issue came up, some of us were happy with them. We thought that they had gone into negotiation with the key or critical stakeholders in the Zone A and B. Mm-hmm. But recently, Governor came on air and said that the issue of zoning the governorship slot to Zone C, South, will no longer work, because initially he was in support of even his deputy succeeding him. But when it was done on him that he will be standing alone against the forces in the Zone A and B, that was why he backed out.
Okay.
But if really these people have done their homework, yes, the governor's work would have been easier for him.
Okay.
Yes.
Fidel, calling in from Owerri in Imo State. Good morning, sir.
Very much. My name is Fidel Onyeneke. I lived in Benue for over 25 years, and I want to say that equity is very important in this case. Have to get it right, and for Benue people to have that sense of belonging, they should zone, or rather people, they should rotate the governorship of the state to the Idoma area now. When I'm talking of Idoma, I mean people like Igede, Idoma, Ofia, and so on and so forth. For a very long time, they have not taken this particular position. If they are talking of number, it may not get to them. Let there be an arrangement so that there will be equity. Zone it to them. Let all the political parties field people from that particular zone so that they will have a sense of belonging. It will increase
unity and progress. Thank
Indeed.
you and God bless you. I'm Fidel Onyeneke.
Thank you very much, Fido, for calling in. We're fast running out of time, but let me use that time to come back to Alhaji Usman Abubakar Dan Mekano Young Alhaji. Final words, very, very briefly, please. What's the way out? Young Alhaji.
Use that time to come back to Alhaji Usman Abubakar Dan
Young Alhaji, what's the way out?
Come again. Yeah, come again.
Young Alhaji, what is your idea of the way out of this quagmire? Very, very briefly.
Okay, the way out of this quagmire is simple. Yes.
What is your idea of the way out of this quagmire?
Okay, the way out of this quagmire is simple. When we are talking of politics, it's not a matter of majority in ethnic group, but majority in support.
Okay, I'm going to have to take that as a really abbreviated answer. How about you, sir, Dr. Egboja? Final words now, because we've run out of time.
Majority in support. You can be
my final word.
You have your majority of support from
My final word is continued negotiation and persuasion. Benue South Senatorial District will continue to negotiate and to persuade zones A and B of Benue to concede the governorship to zone C.
Okay.
In the same manner, the zone C of Benue South Senatorial District will continue to negotiate and persuade zones A and B to concede the seat to zone C of the Senatorial District.
All right, then.
That's the way out.
I want to thank you very much, Dr. Isaac Akwuma Egboja, in our Abuja studio. They are member Advisory Council and founding member Igede in 2023 movement, also Deputy National Coordinator, I believe, of the Benue East. In fact, he confirmed that to me, Benue Rebirth Movement. Thank you very much. Also, we got to thank, although it wasn't as clear as it could have been, but we did hear Alhaji Usman Abubakar Dan Mekano Young Alhaji also chip in on the matter, and he said it's all about continuing the negotiation. We heard from Chief Ochi Ode Emmanuel earlier. Chief Emmanuel is Chairman, Middlebelt Traditional Council, Southwest. I want to thank you very much, and thank you also, gentlemen, Young Alhaji and Dr. Egboja. Thank you very much. I hope we've done justice to this particular conversation. We've heard from one side, we've heard from the other side, and then we've also now heard from a third side. Meanwhile, Aluta Continua.
Thank you so
seems
much.
to be the matter.
Let me just say, I thank Young Alhaji, but I think the right pronunciation of Igede is Igede, not Egede.
All right, then.
So thank you very much.
All right, that's our program today. Thank you very much for watching and for joining us on the program, all those guests, and also for those who called from home. Thank you very much. Join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.